It's 1946. You're living in Detroit working on the Ford assembly line. You just put in an 8-hour shift doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. You're covered in dirt and oil, your body hurts, you're exhausted. And there's only one thing that can replenish you. And it's cooked in the same blue steel pans that you've been working and putting your bolts and screws all day in. It's not just any deep dish. It's Detroit style. Thick, rectangular shape, upside down pizza with the cheese on the bottom and the sauce on top. It may be far from traditional pizza, but it's undoubtedly one of the best styles. And I'm gonna show you how to make it. Get ready. Let's make it. Alright, to make your dough, get a large stainless steel bowl and add 1 1/4 cups of water. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1/2 tablespoon of instant yeast. Mix and let sit for a few minutes until the yeast blooms. Then add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then add 2 1/2 cups of bread flour and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Take your spoon and mix until it forms a shaggy dough. Dump this on a clean, non-porous work surface and knead for 5 to 10 minutes. To knead, you just want to stretch the dough and then fold it back over itself and press. To tell if you've kneaded long enough, shape into a ball and fold the edges underneath, creating tension on the top. If the top rips and it looks all shaggy, keep kneading until it's smooth. Roll in a circle and shape into a ball. Grease a large bowl with a bit of olive oil, spreading around with the dough, then cover with plastic wrap for 1 to 2 hours or roughly until it doubles in size. Alright, now for the pan. You're going to need a 14 by 10 inch pan. I usually say you can get away with a lot of things in the kitchen, but I'm telling you, for this recipe, having the right pan with deep sides makes a really big difference in the crunch, and the last thing you want is for this pizza to stick to one of your old pans. I'll leave a link down in the description for this one. Lightly oil the bottom of your pizza pan and place your dough in. Use your fingers and spread to the edges as best as you can. It will pull back, but don't worry at this point. Cover again with plastic wrap and let rise for another 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, now to make a simple pizza sauce. You're going to need 2 cups of crushed tomatoes. To this, add 4 cloves of roughly chopped garlic, 1 teaspoon of chili flake, 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of sugar to offset the bitterness. Lastly, add a big pinch of kosher salt and some black pepper. Blend with an immersion blender or a blender until smooth, and then reserve this to the side. Get a stick of pepperoni, and for these I like to cut them a little bit thicker, about just over 1/4 inch. So slice up your whole pepperoni and reserve to the side. Okay, now for the cheese. Traditionally, Detroit-style pizza uses Wisconsin brick cheese. But since most of the world does not have access to this, we're going to use a blend of Monterey Jack and low moisture mozzarella. You're going to want to cube into roughly 1/2 inch cubes. Cut your mozzarella and your Monterey Jack. You're going to need about 1 1/2 cups of each cheese once cut. Place in containers and put to the side. Alright, now to assemble. Now that everything's prepped and your dough has finished its second rise, remove the plastic and gently press into the corners so it covers the entire bottom. Be gentle at this part and handle the dough the least amount possible. You don't want to remove the air that it created on the second rise. Then add your cube cheese. Make sure that you spread it all the way to the edges. This is the most important part of a Detroit style pizza. The cheese needs to melt in between the pan and the dough to caramelize and form the cheese crust along the outside edge of the pizza. Once you spread your cheese, you're going to spoon on 3 stripes of sauce lengthwise. Then cover with all your pepperoni slices and bake in a 475 Fahrenheit oven for 18 to 20 minutes. Slide a spatula around the edges to make sure it didn't stick, and then remove the whole pizza. See how the cheese gets all burnt and caramelized on the outside? It's thick, but it's airy. Whew. It's got some heat to it. You look at a pizza like this, and you think, wow, that's gonna be heavy, but really it's not that bad. It's actually fairly light. Detroit style pizza only really started to get popular in the last few years, but I do think it is one of my favorite types of pizza. At least it has to be one of the best pizzas that you can make in a conventional oven. You guys should all give this recipe a shot, and that's a wrap. Get out of here.